After Devimon destroyed File Island, Matt got a cold and Tai was fine because he's so hot-headed. Those two were getting along just fine with no problems whatsoever, and things got even worse when this weird Yeti showed up. But luckily Frosty the Snowman has seen Dragon Ball Z and helped them win. I do hope they find the rest of the kids soon so we can get back to the plot.
The Digivolution is up and running. Did you see? Did you hear? Did you know what's coming? A Digi Destiny starts today. Let me hear you say. Digimon, Digital Monsters, Digimon are the champions. Digimon, Digital Monsters, Digimon are the champions. With Digi-Will and Digivice in hand, there's a Digi-Dynamic force in Digiland. When the Digi-Past and Digi-Present collide, time to Digi-side. Digimon, Digital Monsters, Digimon are the champions.
Ah! Okay. I'm human. I'm not a cartoon anymore. Huh. Okay, jokes aside, the cartoon avatar is taking a hiatus because I'm trying out a new format and basically trying to do this all live and without that much scripting. So, we'll see how that goes. So this episode starts off with Mimi and Izzy plummeting towards the Earth at breakneck speed, and they'll probably need some special way, some plan to get out of this plummeting towards the Earth, right? I mean, Tentomon can fly, he'll probably just grab it, and they skip to the next morning. Palmon is somehow not familiar with the jungle parts of the island, but I guess she's a cactus, so... Izzy and Tentomon find some fancy looking ruins, and Izzy of course doesn't know how to worry about real people and wants to explore it to, you know, discover shit. While he's doing that, Mimi and Palmon come across a poop Digimon. Ha. And really, the only thing more ridiculous than that Digimon is the lengths to which the dub goes to try and not say the words shit, or crap, or feces, or excrement, or dump, or droppings, or poo-poo, or caca, or backdoor chocolate sausage.
Is that hair mousse?
Sukamon then proceeds in what is probably his mating ritual and throws his poop at them to establish dominance. So basically they're trying to rob them, and Mimi does what society says a girl needs to do when faced with overly aggressive males. Just say no.
No!
Huh?
What part of no don't you understand, you wackazoids? Now get out of here!
With about the same effectiveness it has in real life.
Do it again.
They get saved by the Digivice, and the two robbers are now apparently good Digimon.
No, really will be nice from now on, really.
So good in fact that it actually helped them along, and Sukamon of course asks for a kiss as a reward. To which Mimi and Palmon of course make a very hasty retreat, and are also being a little bit rude for somebody who just helped you. Just saying. The temple of course has a black gear inside, which Izzy wants to study, as well as the hieroglyphs, but how will he charge his dead laptop? I mean, it's not like the Digiworld runs on Type A plugs, right? Right? Wrong!
Hey, an outlet. Check it out.
Also, I just realized Izzy's laptop is a pineapple laptop, and I find it absolutely hilarious. Mimi and Palmon get to the temple, and Izzy demonstrates why he's the most unsocial kid in Unsocialsville.
And Izzy! Hey!
Hi, Mimi.
Finally a friendly face! Where's the rest of the gang?
I've no idea.
Of course, Mimi is not going to take it lying down and unleashes the most devastating weapon a 10-year-old girl has in her arsenal. A 10-year-old girl crying tantrum.
I'm leaving! Right now!
Oh, don't cry, Mimi. Oh no, not you too. Izzy!
Why? Because she can. Izzy tries to explain he's the only one who actually cares about, getting back home, and this will actually help, but 10-year-old crying tantrum. Mimi runs off into the maze, followed by Tantamon, and Palmon is left with Izzy. Also, I do not remember Mimi having a baby brother.
I want my own bed! My own bathroom! I'm even starting to miss my baby brother!
And of course, they get lost. But it's not beyond Izzy's hacking skills, because he has them.
That's Mimi? That blinking light?
Precisely.
No, not that way.
Oh, buzz off! Leave me alone!
The bad guy of the week appears, Centauromon, who is apparently very, very evil.
Did you hear that? It sounded evil.
He does, however, have the courtesy to let them banter and talk and not just blow them up immediately.
What are you waiting for? Make yourself bigger!
If you mean you want me to digivolve, I'm afraid that's impossible.
What do you mean, impossible?
I'll tell you what he means. He cannot protect you, so you'll have to hold your ground, and that's truly impossible.
Stop talking, get growing!
Oh, how I'd like to, but if I'm separated from Izzy, I can't.
Very nice of him. Izzy and Palmon show up, the Digimon digivolve, and they beat the crap out of Centauromon and destroy the Black Gear.
That felt interesting.
The day is saved, everyone can go home, we can pack up, and never mind, the Digimon equivalent of Sean Bean is back.
Destroy them, the children.
But of course the kids still have their Deus Ex Digivice,
Bad kitty, out! Go on, out!
which only activates when it's terribly convenient to the plot. So the day is saved after all, but the Black Gear is still there, and Centauromon, with all his strength and knowledge and hand cannon thing, can't do anything about it.
I'm afraid I have neither the strength nor the knowledge to oppose Digimon and the powers of darkness.
What will the kids do? What clever, what ingenious plan? What hacking skills? What Keikaku will they use? Mimi kicks it.
All I want is lunch!
The island reverses directions towards Totally Finite Mountain, and Mimi and Palmon are still very rude to Rush Beamon.
Раз, это хардбас, все в спортивках Adidas. И на Nike пацаны, слушаем хардбас басы. Этот стайл любимый, ждем все в ритме колбасы. 150 ударов тут, пацаны в спортивках ждут.
Man, he is persistent!
At least blow us a kiss.
Okay!
Oh, come on, do it like you mean it. You know you like us, you know you do, please.
Thoughts and conclusions. Okay, buckle up kids, because I have a bit of a rant to go on. But first, we'll get the summary out of the way. Honestly, this is probably the best episode we had so far, which, considering it's only episode 10, isn't really that high of a bar, but it's something. We get an actual interesting setting which the episode uses for a change, instead of wasting our time with, oh, look at this production line. It's taking things apart and puts them back together again. We'll loop the whole thing 3 times. And there's none of that weird stuff that's out of place in the digital world that's completely normal in the normal world that's just there for no reason. So all in all, big plus. The enemy of the week for a change talks, but he's not throwing around those stupid Unidonkey one-liners. He's almost chivalrous. Splitting the kids up was also a pretty nice touch. It mixes up the dynamic a little bit. Izzy saves the day again with his 10-year-old hacking skills, and we even get hints of some plot with the Digivice being shown to be like this holy device, blah blah blah, wow, shiny, wow, look at it.
Bad kitty, out! Go on, out!
Unlike last episode, they cut off all that stupid fluff of how they got from the beds to the island and blah blah, all that stupid bullshit. Which is great because the episode is only 20 minutes long and you can't waste it on stupid shit. I mean, you can, and they do, but you shouldn't. Izzy is the main focus, and they show again how he's completely clueless about interpersonal human relations. Though to be frank, who the hell knows how a 10-year-old girl works? But he does get paired with the most extroverted kids, so it's good that Devimon happens to choose which 2 kids would have like interesting dynamics between them to send them together to the same island. It's very, very, very insightful of him. That way we can get episodes like this where the clashing of personalities is what causes the weekly drama conflict thing. Okay, now it's time for the rant. Now, Suka Blattmon and Chumon are a very, very good example for what we might be able to call
a nice guy.
I mean, he does literally look like a piece of shit. And many would argue that Mimi's treatment of them is so bad because they look like shit. I, however, disagree. See, first of all, they start off from literally throwing poop at them, which is not a very terribly nice thing to do. But worse than that, after they get zapped by the Digivice, they change their behavior to be a bit nicer so that Mimi would like them and then give them a kiss when they help her. Or in other words, they're hiding all the shit throwing sides of themselves, and I don't know if Mimi as a 10-year-old girl has enough experience to see this for what it is, but in general, any girl in the world would see this as a red flag. They basically enter into what is called a covert contract. Basically, we help you and you give us a kiss later. Of course, she doesn't know that until later, and that's why it's called a covert contract. I mean, duh. Now, is her and Palmon being so mean and making the blue face whatever a nice thing to do? Like, is it called for? No. But it's possible that Mimi, even at the tender age of 10, knows that Sukamon and Chumon, they give off this very, very distinct vibe of the type of people or Digimon who, if she tries to be nice to them, they will take advantage of it. So actually being very mean to them is sort of like the best scenario for both parties because it's very, very, very clear. Would she be willing to give a kiss to, like, I don't know, Enjamon or some cute furry Digimon? Maybe, but that's besides the point. Is it fair? No. But the key here is that she doesn't owe them a show of physical affection just because they've been helpful in the last, 2 minutes. Are they being mean to them because it's a piece of shit and a rat? I mean, yeah, but it's also because they're acting like a piece of shit and a rat. Okay, rant over, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Tidbits and changes. Tentomon in the dub lays that whole look for your friends a lot thicker than in the original. But the basic gist in the original is that Izzy has the bigger picture in mind. He thinks this will actually help them in, getting back home. Centauramon doesn't actually speak in the original, at least not until the gear is removed, leading to some weird grunting and growling and a whole bunch of those stupid silent shots where nothing moves and nothing happens, which I absolutely fucking hate.
もうお手上げですわ。
そうなの？もうダメなの？
逃げ場もありまへん。進化もできまへんし。
なんでよ、進化してよ。
そらわてかて進化したいのは山々でんがな。でも幸四郎はんがいてないとできまへんねや。
何よ、ケチ。
いや、そういう問題あらしまへんて。
Mimi does not in fact have a baby brother, and that whole I miss my baby brother was a complete new line. In terms of names today, Centauramon is pretty self-explanatory. He's a centaur. Why he's roaming a labyrinth instead of a minotaur? I don't know. For Sukamon's name, the sources aren't terribly clear. The official English name is Scammon. Basically, the Su in the Suka in the Japanese is one of those Su that's pronounced as an S, like in this, at the end of a sentence. So it's pronounced Scammon. I did find one source which claims it comes from Sukatorojikaru, which basically is Japanese scatological, which means has to do with excrement. It sounds logical, but I haven't found anything else that confirms it, so it's probably bullshit. And lastly, and is it really a surprise, Chumon's name comes from the onomatopoeia for mouse squeaking, or choo-choo. I swear I am not making these up. And so the episode comes to an end. We've seen some hacking, some whining, learned a lot from examining the behavior of a literal piece of shit, and even Leomon was there. But will next episode be better? Will Joe and Sora have some interesting interactions? Will I be able to shoehorn some random social analysis into it? Yes. Find out next time on Nightwize's digital journey. Oh, by the way, this guy is Pedro. He helps me. Like, I mean it. This fucking camera has such a stupid ass fucking zoom. Like, I need to plop him right here and then configure the manual zoom so I can see his little hairs here. These little ones. Yeah, I need to see them sharply, and then I can put it and then So yeah, he's been a very helpful boy. So yeah, this format is going to continue probably because I like this, it's less editing, and also I can go over to camera and then back to this, and back to that one, and back to this one, and I have a bunch of fucking cameras. And in general, I find this a lot more fun than the cartoon avatar editing. I don't know, this feels more personal. So I'll see you guys next time. All 3 of you. It used to be 6, but I think 3 of them kind of dropped off because I upload really regularly. Say goodbye, Pedro. He's a little shy, but he says bye.
Digivolution is up and running. Did you see? Did you hear? Did you know what's coming? A Digi Destiny starts today. Let me hear you say. Прикрой меня, я должен перезарядиться!